Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, January 5, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comments section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's been like here recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so we've been looking at the year on the GFS supercomputer models for the next 7 days for the past week, and we've been seeing that this week is going to be very dry. We're going to be looking at the latest Euro model run that came out at 3:30 p.m. today, so keep your eyes focused on the timestamp at the top, and we're going to be focusing our attention on Jamaica as well as we look for all of the rainfall as represented by the greens, the yellows, oranges, reds. Represents inches of rainfall right here on the key on the right. Alright, so let's see what occurs. So heading into Monday, definitely more whites than anything else. That represents fair weather across Jamaica. Something similar for Tuesday, but we see some moisture to the southeast of the island, but we see more in the way of dry conditions across the island of Jamaica. Wednesday definitely dry. Thursday we see some isolated showers across northern parishes for sure. That's basically it, because Friday into Saturday definitely dry conditions, and then as we head into Sunday we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours, and we can see a lot of moisture across the waters to the east of the United States, stretching all the way down into the Bahamas, southern Florida, and the eastern and southeastern Gulf of Mexico associated with the frontal system. You can also see some isolated showers across the southwestern Caribbean into section of Central America, stretching all the way across the southern Caribbean into the eastern Caribbean right there. Let us see if the latest GFS is showing something similar. Alright, so we can see that as we head into Monday, definitely less rainfall, more whites than anything else across Jamaica. Tuesday, something similar. Wednesday, something similar to Tuesday. Thursday, we do see the isolated showers across northern Jamaica, just like what the Euro was showing. But we're going to be continuing as we head into Friday and Saturday. Definitely little to no rainfall. The GFS trying to incorporate some rainfall across eastern Jamaica. Let's see what happens on a Saturday. Heading into Sunday, we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. That's valid for Sunday, January 12 on both the year and the GFS models. And what do we have in store? Clearly, just like what the year was showing, we're seeing the line of showers associated with the frontal system stretching into the Bahamas, Cuba, but instead of the eastern and southeastern Gulf, it's more so the northwestern Caribbean. And we can also make out that isolated shower activity across the southwestern to the southern and eastern Caribbean for sure. We'll see exactly what unfolds either way. Clearly, over the next 168 hours, the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps from the year and the GFS are showing that the most in the way for rainfall, as represented by the dark reds into the purples and the pinks and the peach colors, represents 2 to 4 to 6 all the way up to 8 inches of rainfall, should be plaguing portions of Belize, sections of Guatemala, northern Honduras, eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, western Venezuela right there. And we see some rainfall across northern Puerto Rico. We see a lot of rainfall to the north of the ABC Islands, incorporating portion of the ABC Islands. Let us see what the GFS is showing in terms of its accumulated precipitation. We see it's showing something similar, but clearly the most rainfall should be across sections of Central America. We're talking about Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, and Colombia for sure. I know those areas could definitely get in some amount of isolated flash flooding. If we take a look at Jamaica regarding the total amount of rainfall that's expected in the next 7 days, clearly this week is going to be drier than normal. We're seeing more blues, especially on the GFS. It represents anywhere from 1 millimeter, maybe all the way up to maybe 15 millimeters, but we clearly see that the most rainfall should still be plaguing northeastern parishes, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. Some of this possibly spilling into section of St. Andrew, section of St. Thomas. The Euro has been adamant that it's trying to incorporate some of the greens. They represent maybe 15 all the way up to 30. Right here we see the number across Portland, 31 millimeters of rainfall. We'll see exactly what unfolds either way for the next 7 days. And it's definitely drier than normal for sure, but clearly northeastern parishes could pick up some isolated showers. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see one ridge of high pressure right here to the east of Florida, another ridge of high pressure right here to the north of the Cabo Verde Islands. I know these are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. We can make out some orange lines right here associated with the trough across the eastern Caribbean. And we can make out this blue spike line right here associated with the frontal system, pushing all the way down into the northern portion of Hispaniola. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. The clouds associated with the frontal system, reaching all the way down into portion of northern Hispaniola right there. And we can make out the clouds associated with the trough across the eastern Caribbean, not to mention the flow of the low to mid-level clouds pushing from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north, sending all of these entities that way. And look at that, we can even make out the highest cirrus clouds being streaked off towards the northeast, all courtesy of the upper level wind shear that's there. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean's weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, January 5, 2025. It was stated that rainfall was in the forecast for parts of some northern parishes, both on Sunday morning and afternoon. And we know northern parishes, we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. And what ended up happening? First things first, we spoke about the windy conditions that were expected last night. And that was definitely the case because a post was made here on our Twitter page, or Weather Jamaica. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page, but they're also made on our Instagram page, or weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page, or Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page, or Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as you may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we're definitely getting in on those strong winds, as the windy.com imagery was posted highlighting the bright greens into the yellows that represent 20 to 25 knots, maybe even gusting to 30 knots for sure, especially across northern parishes and eastern parishes. Definitely windy for sure, even some cooler than average temperatures being experienced across sections of the island, especially the north coast. And then another post was made at around 9:51 a.m. highlighting the clouds bringing overcast skies and some isolated showers in sections of northern Jamaica. We're talking about Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland for sure. Getting in on that, we can also see some clouds coming in from the east to possibly affect sections of southern parishes, as that's exactly what took place. In the afternoon, imagery was posted at around 3:55, and those clouds that we saw coming in the morning definitely came into portion of St. Thomas, section of Kingston, St. Catherine, section of Clarendon, definitely got in on some overcast skies. So too section of southern Manchester and southern St. Elizabeth. So it was definitely overcast across sections of central and the eastern parishes. So not just northern parishes alone, even although the north coast was definitely getting on their fair share of overcast skies, if not some isolated showers, not to mention the windy conditions and the cool conditions too. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can make out what took place. First of all, the clouds sitting on top of Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne for sure. Then we had those clouds coming in from the east, southeast to bring some overcast skies in section of some southern parishes too. And then we saw that all of that was, not so visible again because we lost the sunlight. And if we take a look at the infrared satellite images, we can make out those high cirrus clouds as represented by the blues into the greens for sure, being streaked out towards the northeast, all courtesy of that upper level wind shear. If we take a look at what took place across halfway tree today, this is at around 4:13 p.m. and we can definitely see that it was mostly cloudy. We're indeed grateful that the halfway tree cam is back. We've been living on the flatbridge camera for the past couple of days because the halfway tree crossroads, most of the St. Andrew cams were working, but they're back up and running right here on See Jamaica's YouTube channel. I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just subscribe to their channel. You won't regret it at all. You can see people in their vehicles going about their business, people walking and going about their business for sure. Definitely cloudy skies for the most part across this portion of St. Andrew. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does indeed paint quite the picture of where we had the isolated shore activity today. Definitely across northern parishes, just as predicted, especially St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, where we see all of these colors for sure. And we definitely have some comments coming in here from some of our subscribers on our YouTube platform. We have Lawrence Davidson 6195 stating cool and windy night here in Mobay. That was last night. Lucille Reynolds stating windy in Westmoreland also. Aston Gooden 9920 stating winds close to gale force are ongoing since last night in Linstead. What about the rest of the island? But then like the other people who live in the other section of the island could have, confirmed, and they're gonna confirm now with the comment. Excuse me. We have Mike Fantazi, if I'm not butchering that name, stating overcast and windy for most of the day just east of Falmouth. Sun finally broke through around 2 p.m. Thank you for confirming that. We have Wesley Setal 6180 stating I'm in Western St. Mary, cloudy and cold all day, no sun from morning, just a little sprinkle of rain. Thanks for confirming the rain. Even on our Instagram page we had a comment coming in. We have lots of cars stating tree fell in Stony Hill and blocked the main road, had to be cleared by the authorities, caused quite a traffic pile up. Thanks for confirming that. Lots of car. We also have Panton Giovanni stating Spanish Town breezy. Right here we also have R_Mona_GH_CA stating I'm freezing. And we even have one and only _Melj stating Missy winter in Jam Dong. We even have Genesis_876 stating you mean windy and cold AF. Well, definitely colder than average for sure, and we highlighted this in the cooler than average temperatures that were expected. If we take a look at the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website, what's happening right now, clearly we can see those high cirrus clouds to the west of us, to the south of us for sure, and we know all of this is going to be streaking off towards the northeast, all courtesy of the upper level wind shear brought about by, all courtesy of the upper level wind shear in general. So it makes sense that all of this high cirrus cloud is streaking off towards that direction. If we take a look at the latest Cuban Doppler radar imagery, unfortunately, the Cuban Doppler radar is still glitched out, still showing January 4. Hopefully they get sorted out shortly. Hopefully the Jamaican radar gets sorted out shortly, boy. Have to be depending on Cuban other radars. Right here we have the Guantanamo Bay Cuban military radar. We can see that we don't have much taking place across the island right now. Not seeing much of anything at all. This looks to be ground clutter near the radar station across Cuba. Northeastern Jamaica not seeing much of anything. The Western Peninsula of Haiti not seeing much of anything right now either. Taking a look at the Cayman radar, we can make out some rainfall in the blues and the greens, maybe some isolated light to slight moderate rainfall to the south of there. Not seeing much happening across Western Jamaica at all. Taking a look at the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing crossroads, we can see people in their vehicles going about their business. Definitely dry times right now, and this should continue tomorrow. As a matter of fact, tomorrow is going to be one of the driest days in a long time for sure. We're going to be looking at the rainfall forecast shortly, but if we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Monday, temperature should dip down to about 23 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. Could definitely be cooler than that, and 21 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Look at this, Mandeville, 17 degrees Celsius. Albertown, 18 degrees Celsius. Quite ridiculous, and it's quite understandable, given the frontal system's backside or the front side, whichever one it is. Either way, we have cooler than average temperatures plaguing the island as we speak, not to mention the strong winds. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18 on Monday when calculated. That's about 1 p.m. on Monday, and we can see Jamaica right here for the most part embedded in gray colors. And the gray color right here represents 0 on the key. That's representing average or normal temperatures for the month of January. And we know the normal temperature for the month of January is about 86.5 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that's calculated to degrees Celsius, that's about the same as 30.2 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving that for Jamaica's temperature on Monday. Taking a look at what my JPS online has in store, just as predicted, they have maintenance outage advisory. As a matter of fact, they state emergency outage advisory for St. Mary on Tuesday, January 7, 2025. So the day after tomorrow. It states here from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. for Sunside Trinity Still Street in Port Maria. And it states that the town of Port Maria will experience 1 hour disruption from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and again from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So if you live in those areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in those areas, let them know that a power outage is coming their way on Tuesday. And we have to highlight these because know that when we have power outages, it can definitely exacerbate the heat for sure, making the temperatures feel even more ridiculous because we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. Either way, if tomorrow is a bit too hot for you, we have some tips here to beat the heat. It states here, when you're outside, seek shade, eat fresh, try eating cold food such as salads and fruits. Rest, make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. So take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always drink a lot of water throughout the day, even if you're not thirsty. Put away those sugar drinks, drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, I've been trying to find the Saharan dust forecast to show, but why? It looks like every website is glitched out or not really adequate. But we slap the dry air map right here. We know the dry air is represented by the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. We can see a lot of dry air across the main development region, across the waters to the north of the Caribbean, into the Gulf of Mexico, off the east coast of the US. And we can see a lot of moist air represented by the blues into the gray. That represents, well, cloud cover in general. So we have a lot of moist air, especially across the southwestern Caribbean. And we saw that on the infrared that was shown at first. Look at all of the high cold cloud tops, lots of thunderstorms affecting the waters to the east of Nicaragua, to the east of Honduras, to the north of Colombia, to the south of Jamaica for sure. Excuse me. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we see that the waters across this, well, to the south of Haiti and to the south of Jamaica, to the north of Colombia, it's not going to be kicking up for sure. We see those purples represents 2 to 3 meter wave heights. We're seeing more blues across the eastern Caribbean, the western Caribbean, the southeastern Gulf, portion of the Bahamas for sure. Waters to the north of Jamaica, 1.4 meter wave heights. Waters to the south of Jamaica, 1.5 meter wave heights. And that's because of the winds that are expected. Clearly tomorrow the winds are going to be coming in from the east, from the eastern Caribbean to the central to the western Caribbean, curving from south to north across the Bahamas. We see across the Gulf of Mexico, the wind should be coming in from the north, curving towards the northeast into Florida. And regarding Jamaica, we see more of an easterly flow. Don't see strong winds at all. We see more on the duller side of the greens, from blues to greens, anywhere from 5 to 10 knots for sure, maybe even gusting to 15 knots at some point. 12 knots here on the north coast, not going to be strong at all. Winds are going to be cooling down. 8 knots right here to the north of Portland, 8 knots right here to the south of Clarendon. Very interesting. Either way, it looks more like an easterly flow, kind of east-northeasterly-ish across the eastern portions of the island. We'll see exactly what occurs. Either way, the upper level wind still coming in from the southwest, as we can see here. And regarding the rainfall forecast, it's been a long time since I've seen the rainfall forecast showing something like this. More whites than anything else. Definitely a drier week in general for the island, even though we see some blues representing rainfall to the southeast of us here and there on both the U and the GFS models. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Who knows, maybe some of these clouds that are going to bring some isolated showers to the southeast of us could come in, bring some overcast skies to us, cool down the temperatures. Either way, we don't see much rainfall in store at all. Even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps Not showing much in the way of rainfall at all for sections of the island. We don't see much of anything. And we're in the month of January. That's expected. It's our dry season. In Kingston, we usually receive up to 20 millimeters of rainfall for the month. That's close to 1 inch. In Montego Bay, we usually receive close to 3 inches of rainfall for the month. That's about 75 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives for the month of January or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic criteria that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have a frontal system coming down that's going to be bringing some strong winds into the Gulf. We see the line of shower and thunderstorm activity reaching all the way from the southern United States, stretching all the way up into the northeast as well. We can make out a lot of moisture across the waters to the south of Jamaica, spilling into section of Central America. Lots of shower and thunderstorm activity down there. So too across sections of Colombia, southern and western Venezuela. So too sections of French Guyana for sure. We can also make out some isolated showers, a line of it stretching from Puerto Rico into the Dominican Republic right there. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let us see what's happening over there. Alright, so we can definitely see that as of right now, 7:20 p.m. Eastern time. Let's see if we can get a better image. Alright, there we go, 7:25. Section of Puerto Rico definitely getting on some light to moderate rainfall as we speak. Definitely inland from central to western Puerto Rico, even eastern Puerto Rico for sure. We can also see some isolated shores in and around Antigua and Barbuda. And if we load these images from earlier today, we can make out that rainfall pushing in from the east northeast. That definitely drenched Puerto Rico for sure. Taking a look at the Barbados radar, we can make out some isolated hit or miss showers to the east of Martinique, to the east of St. Lucia, some rainfall in and around St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada getting on some of the action. So two sections of Tobago getting on some rainfall as we speak. Not seeing much happening across Trinidad though. And if we take a look at the weather via Doppler radar images, we can make out some rainfall to the east of Belize, some rainfall right here to the east of Nicaragua, some rainfall passing through the ABC Islands, especially to the north of there. We can even make out some rainfall sitting on top of Colombia as we speak. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Monday. And we can see that the most rainfall should be plaguing the Yucatan, northern Belize, section of eastern Honduras, eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, western Venezuela, section of southern and northern Venezuela. The waters to the north of the ABC Islands. The ABC Islands could get in some of the action too. So to eastern portion of the Dominican Republic, northern Puerto Rico getting on some of the rainfall for sure, as well as anywhere to the south of Dominica. We're talking about Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, maybe Trinidad, and we can also see some isolated shores in store for sections of Guyana too. And so that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.